Paul, medium SUVs. It's not very exciting, is it?
No, it's not overly exciting, but the segment has had some smart additions.
It has had some smart additions, and the other factor we need to point out is that this segment is incredibly popular.
Absolutely, medium SUV sales are going through the roof, and rightfully so, whether it's for practicality or for family purposes.
So it's obvious that people love them, and with that in mind, we've assembled 3 of the segment leaders, plus the new iX35 replacement, the Hyundai Tucson. We've brought them all together.
I reckon this will be good fun.
The Toyota RAV4 has a 2.2 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine that generates 110 kilowatts and 340 newton metres. It has a 6-speed automatic gearbox and on-demand all-wheel drive, and it uses an ADR-claimed 6.5 litres per 100 kilometres. Cargo volume is 577 litres, and its braked towing capacity is 1,000 kilograms. It has a 6.1-inch colour touchscreen with satellite navigation and Bluetooth audio streaming, climate control air conditioning, leather trim, heated front seats, and a reclining second row. RAV4 has numerous safety aids including lane departure warning and blind spot monitoring, but it does miss out on autonomous braking. Subaru Forester has a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine that generates 108 kilowatts and 350 newton metres. You can choose between a 6-speed manual or a constantly variable transmission. It has constant all-wheel drive with active torque split, and fuel usage is an ADR claimed 6.4 litres per 100 kilometres. Cargo volume is 422 litres. It has a braked towing capacity of 1,800 kilograms. It has a 7-inch colour touchscreen with Bluetooth connectivity and apps such as Pandora, heated leather front seats, and the second row doesn't recline. Unfortunately, if you opt for the diesel Forester, you miss out on Subaru's clever eyesight safety system.
The Mazda CX-5 is powered by a 2.2 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine that produces 129 kilowatts of power and 420 newton metres of torque. It's only available with a 6-speed automatic and uses a part-time on-demand 4-wheel drive system. It uses an ADR claimed 5.7 litres per 100 kilometres and has a fairly small 403 litre cargo volume. For those that want towing, it has class-leading towing capacity of 1,800 kilograms with a brake trailer. The CX-5 comes with a full suite of safety features that includes blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, smart city brake support, and also a lane keeping assistant. The CX-5's interior looks fantastic with white leather trim and heated front seats. The infotainment system uses a 7-inch colour touchscreen and Mazda's MZD Connect that's easy to use and comes with apps such as Pandora internet radio streaming. The Hyundai Tucson is powered by a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel engine that produces 136 kilowatts of power and 400 newton metres of torque. It's mated to a 6-speed automatic gearbox and uses a part-time on-demand 4-wheel drive system with a centre differential lock. Electrically assisted steering is joined by an ADR claimed fuel consumption of just 6.8 litres per 100 kilometres. Towing capacity is just a little under the segment best at 1,600 kilos for a brake trailer. The Tucson has a leather-appointed interior with heated and cooled seats for the first row. The Tucson uses an 8-inch colour touchscreen that's easy to use and contains the navigation and audio functions. The Tucson is the only car here with rear air vents, and it also comes with a full suite of safety technologies that include blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, a lane keeping assistant, and autonomous emergency braking. Okay mate, Toyota RAV4. I had no idea these things were still on the market.
They are still on the market, and you're not in a rush, are you? It'll come up eventually. The reason this is here, whether you like it or not, is that the last time I checked, 435 million of these sold new in Australia, and if I'm Toyota Australia, I'm going to charge you whatever I want for the RAV4, and guess what? You're going to pay it.
That is so true. And look, it does tick some boxes. This is the biggest cargo space of all 4.
Massive. It's got heaps of room. What I do like about the RAV4, whether you think it's boring doesn't matter, this has got everything you need, nothing you don't, and it'll never let you down.
Absolutely, and I think another one that ticks that box is this thing.
Subaru Forester. Now once again, I hope you're not in any great rush, not standing around in the rain waiting for this thing to open.
This thing is incredibly slow.
Very, very slow. Look at it go. Look, the thing with the Forester that I really like is bulletproof reliability. It's a reputation that's well earned, it's comfortable, and I think for me, the main thing with this car is that it's the most car car like to drive? It doesn't really feel like an SUV.
And it's permanent all-wheel drive, so that means it is always sending torque to all four wheels in some combination. So it's the car for someone who really does need to go off-road every now and then.
100%. Your two cars are down here.
This guy here, the Mazda CX-5, it is the sportiest car in this segment.
Hey, what are you doing?
It's not motorised, sorry.
Top spec Mazda CX-5, you've got to open the door yourself. That's great, good start.
And it also has the smallest cargo volume as well, which
really
isn't
does.
great, but it drives beautifully.
Now, hang on a second, hang on. I thought this was an SUV segment. It drives beautifully. I wasn't aware we were buying sports
SUV,
cars.
sports utility vehicle.
Okay, fair enough.
It's there, it's great.
All right, new kid on the blocks next.
This has to be one of my favourite looking cars, the Hyundai Tucson. So this replaces the iX35, which for Hyundai sold in massive numbers.
It's a beautiful looking car, and it's an important car globally for Hyundai. I think it's got that good balance between space and practicality, and it's got plenty of gadgetry, but there's one thing it doesn't have. What's that?
Apple CarPlay,
now,
which is crazy. You shot a video, right?
I did a video last week on Apple CarPlay in the Hyundai Tucson. Picked this up and there's no Apple CarPlay. What's the go?
Look, I don't know. It's coming. There's some delay or something like that.
So next year sometime.
Who knows? But I reckon we need to take these things for a drive.
Let's get behind the wheel and find out what we like about each of these four.
Cool.
Okay, so you're in the back seat where you belong. There is method to our madness though, and we'll get to that in a minute. I know you know the answer to this question. What's the best part about driving a RAV4?
Well, mate, for me, it's that I don't have to look at it.
Exactly, that's right. It's not going to win any design awards, is it?
Oh, look, and neither's the engine. It's the least powerful car here.
And in terms of driving, the engine does feel a little underpowered. It does feel a little bit sort of old school in its design. The 6-speed automatic is clever and it works well, but you'd never call the engine a powerhouse, that's true.
But I've got to say, in the back seat, I've got so much legroom. I've got a centre armrest with cup holders as well, but I am finding the ride incredibly jarring.
It's very jerky, yeah, it is, isn't it? And it fritters around over bumps and it seems very stiff. It's comfortable in terms of the seat. I've got heaps of room up the front here, and if you've still got enough leg room back there, that's great.
I do like the fact that I can recline my back seats and do low rider if I need to.
Important factor for the family, that one, yeah.
That's it, and it helps also that it's got the biggest cargo capacity of all the cars we've got on test.
So you might think the RAV4 would be the one that's like a favourite old cardigan, but I reckon the Forester is. It doesn't feel dramatically new, but it certainly gets the job done, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, it does. And from my point of view in the back here, it's quite comfortable. It's so airy in here. There's so much light. I can actually see out the windows. I've got a centre armrest with cup holders too, but I can't recline my seat like I could in the RAV.
I do like the ride. It seems to soak up the corrugations better than the RAV. And you're right about the engine power too. It doesn't really feel dramatically better than the RAV4, even though it makes a little bit more power and torque. It still doesn't feel like a rocket ship. I suppose that's offset by good efficiency.
But it does come with class-leading towing capacity, and I'm a big fan of that entertainment system. I reckon it's one of the best out of the cars that we've got here. But I'll tell you what hasn't helped bring it forward, no eyesight, which is Subaru's life-saving technology.
No, exactly. That in this sort of family vehicle that gets used to truck the kids around so often, that's something that really needs to be looked at.
This is a constant all-wheel drive car. Does it feel sort of more sure underfoot?
I think around town you're not going to notice that, but if you're on really slippery roads or you're out in the country on gravel, you'll pick that up. Around town, not such a factor though.
So mate, Mazda CX-5, you're now in the back seat. How does it feel back there?
Look, this is a little stiffer on road than even the RAV4, and we've said that before with the sporting ride that it's got. The old CX-5 was criticised for being a little bit on the loud side. I have to say this new one is quieter, especially at city speeds.
And you can't recline the seat, can you?
You can't recline the seat, which is a bit of a negative. But what I do like that Mazda do really well is they manage to give you a premium feel without necessarily using premium materials.
This car is the sportiest of the bunch. The 2.2 litre diesel is great. The steering is fantastic, really direct. It goes like the clappers. So this is really the default option if you're after a sporty car that can be used as an SUV as well.
You know what this car's for? Drivers of SUVs who think they're a Formula One driver.
Now, of course, this is the most fuel-efficient car, but it has the least cargo volume. Do you reckon that would affect the influence of buyers?
This might be big enough if you've got one child, but when you go to a second one, it's going to be a bit tight in the back.
Okay mate, last but absolutely not least is the iX35 replacement, the Tucson. How do you feel in the back there? Keeping in mind you may have to speak a little loud to...
Yeah, definitely the noisiest engine of the 4 vehicles, and there's a little bit more road noise coming in than there is in the other 3 as well. But I tell you what, check out this enormous sunroof. Absolutely massive, yeah, and it gives you a real light and airy feeling back here, that you feel like you're sitting lower into the vehicle, gives you a bit more headroom.
And mate, you're not blushing either, which is great. Have you got rear air vents back there?
I do have rear air vents back here, and I think it's something that you can't believe in 2015 wouldn't be standard in just about every vehicle.
But Hyundai has gone to the length of adding a centre differential lock, which means you can get it to split torque 50-50 between the front and the rear for off-roading.
It's an interesting addition. Whether it's one that you need in this class, I suppose the jury's out.
Rides and handles beautifully as well. Local engineering in Australia goes to show how much it can actually affect it.
Really does. If you ever needed an advertisement for local engineering, you needed to get in the back of one of these and just see how comfortable it is.
Okay Trent, we've had a great time testing these SUVs.
We have.
And I think it's clear cut that the RAV4 wins based on Toyota dealerships everywhere, and it's bulletproof in terms of reliability.
Look, it does have that air of invincibility, but it's not quite so clear cut because the Forester's also pretty reliable and it's got that hard-won reputation in Australia.
That's true, and I guess the Forester can go off-road. It's got that constant all-wheel drive system, and it's pretty sporty as well. So should we give the win to the Forester?
Well, not so quickly, because what about if off-road doesn't interest me and I want to do all my driving around town?
Okay, well, if that's the case, let's give it to the CX-5 then, because it is the sportiest and it's jam-packed with features too.
I don't dislike the CX-5, but what if I want the latest, the greatest, and in my opinion, the most stylish? Where do I go then?
So it's got to be the Hyundai Tucson then. It's the best looking, in our opinion. It is loaded with cool technology and safety tech, and it comes with an incredible warranty as well.
While all 4 of these medium SUVs offer compelling packages, it's the latest offering from Hyundai that sits above the rest. It's reasonably priced, feature-packed, and is our all-rounder pick for the segment.
So why did you bring the RAV4? I still don't understand.
It's bulletproof. What did you bring the MX-5 for? We're buying SUVs, not sports cars.
MX